Hello, this is Frank J. Avella with Awards Daily. Norwegian director Joachim Trier's glorious new film, The Worst Person in the World, boasts a performance so exquisite it boggles the mind that it's her first cinematic starring role. Renate Reinsve stars as Julie, a multifaceted young woman trying to navigate her way in the world. The Thest deservedly won the Cannes Film Festival Best Actress Award for her work. Renate, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
First and foremost, congratulations. It's a remarkable performance.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So how has this sudden fame been sitting with you? Are you finding yourself fielding offers, hiring teams of managers?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening, of course. Yeah, it's kind of blown up. Most of all, I'm very happy to travel around with the film so I can stay in the vibe of the film and with these people for a little longer. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's been amazing. Like I can still feel Cannes very it's still here.
So this role was written for you, and I know you had a one-line scene in Oslo, August 31st. Can you speak a little bit about how all of this came about?
Yeah, well, I had the line, "Let's go to the party," but he needed a special light, so we did it for 9 days. It was some other scenes too without lines, but yeah, I remember Anders and Joachim, they were saying, "Oh, she needs to play a lead at some point," but I never thought they would, or Joachim would go through with it. Because we became kind of friends, but because Oslo is small and we met here and there and in events, and he knew about my theater work, and whenever we would meet, we would always like get into an existential conversation about life and love and the chaos, and we were always aligned in like the mess of the relationships we were in. So I think the combination of those things were why he wrote this role for me. Like yeah, you have to ask him, but I think that's the story.
Well, did you have a lot of input in the film? Were the screenwriters very much collaborative with you?
Actually, I was very nervous reading the script the first time. It's two men writing a female lead, but I was very surprised on how accurate they portrayed. It was a very complex human being and a part of her identity being a woman, but she was just so complex and well written. I didn't have much to say actually in changing anything. I had a few things that I wanted to apply that I feel very strongly about. It was quite perfect from when I read it.
That's nice to hear. Can you discuss Julie's evolution and how you and Joachim approached that?
Yeah, we had hours and hours of conversation of like, but mostly like questions. After reading her, I felt very close to her and very moved, but I couldn't understand like who she was and how I would do her. And I thought I'd just go with that, like keep asking questions. So we did a lot of rehearsals and we did a lot of like preparing with analyzing the scenes and being very specific on what nuances that all the scenes contained to like have it all in there. But I think the most important was that we realized it was about the dynamic between the characters. So it was we just very much let go of everything we had thought through, and then just were in the scenes, and we did it very like different variations because we wanted to see is it possible to do it this way? Could a person do this? It was like a conversation in action, and so it made it very like rewarding to work on, of course.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about working with Anders and Herbert as your scene partners?
Yeah, I think we all understood, and like because Joachim he feels he says he feels so empowered by the collective work of a film. Like we all do it together. And also when he shows the movies, it means so much to him what people think. And it's a very collective art form. And his values, of course, dripped into everything we did and how everyone related to the project. And I feel Anders and Joachim and me, we try to make each other better and like helping each other and being like just very leaned into the situations. So they're just really, really, really marvelous actors. And yeah, it never felt like it was me going on set being like the lead or being it wasn't a pressure. It was very liberating because it was just us doing it together, you know.
Are you very immersive, Renata? Like, did you find yourself bringing Julie home with you, or can you?
What is immersive? The word immersive.
Immersive means that you take the character home with you at night.
Oh yeah. Yes, unfortunately, I was so confused. Like my life fell apart.
Oh no.
But that's good. It's good. You learn stuff from that. That's what the movie's all about. Like embrace the chaos, just surrender. It like you can't know what a choice is until you make the choice. So it's impossible to make a real good reflected choice. And that's, I think it's a liberating thing with the movie that it says it's okay. It's okay. Just go with the flow, you know?
It's true. It's true. And speaking of choices, what was interesting to me was the notion of class in the film. Like she's of a certain class. And so career-wise, she could basically be whatever she wants to be, which kind of then makes it impossible to decide what to be.
Exactly. And that's, it's a thing, like paradox of choices. It makes people sad and restless to have too many choices. I think both in love and in career and in like choosing who to be, identity. It's so many ways to be. It's impossible to choose. And I think it makes people lonely and sad. And those are important things to talk about. Yeah. She's very restless. She has a lot of anxiety. I think a lot of people do because of this, actually.
I think very much so. And, you know, her journey, not, you know, to give anything away, but I think her journey is a pretty remarkable one, actually. It's liberating.
Yeah, it is. It's a very wise, very, it's a very, I don't want to say too much either, but it's a good way to go. Go. That means like my English is.
It's a good way to, well, not even end up because she's only
You're not
30.
saying she's dying.
Yeah. Well, I will stop there. But you know what's interesting? I've heard Joachim speak about it being a generational thing, but I don't necessarily agree because I'm closer in age to him than you. And yet I've found that notion to be able to switch gears, especially career-wise. I just went through it with the pandemic. And it's been very liberating for me as well. So I could relate very much to Julie, actually.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I've heard that from, because we showed the film mostly in France, and a lot of like people are so certain of what the film is about and that it's for them and their generation. And people are from 20 to 60. I had a guy, is 60 years old, and is like, I am Julie. And that's fantastic. It's great. It's great hearing this. How did you change your career?
Oh my God. Well, I was a playwright out of NYU for 2 decades. And
Really?
And you know, a mildly successful playwright. And in lockdown, I went back to my first love, which was film. I wrote a few screenplays, started submitting to festivals and made my first film in lockdown. And it's been doing really well. Thank you.
Wow.
But the most extraordinary thing is my shift in careers has completely changed my life.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, for the better. So I could really, you know, understand this reevaluation. And, you know, for me later in life, you know, I'm almost 50, and yet, you know, I've been able to, you know, do that. And it's been remarkable. So I think the journey always continues.
Exactly. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Speaking of, Julie is sexually liberated, which is much more so than we see in films, certainly in my country today. We used to make films that were gritty. We're more prudish now. So I'm wondering, is it in Scandinavia, is it much more of a, well, I know the answer to this because I'm a film lover, but you guys are a lot more liberal when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, yeah, I guess for this is like specifically this project was very Joachim wanted the sex to be, yeah, that she is free, she's liberated, she takes like charge of her own sex life, and that's fantastic. But it's mostly like the sex scenes tells different stories that is in the script. So it's either with the like they have their own dramaturgy. It's not like it's just a sex scene to have a sex scene or just to show her liberal way of having sex, but it's a very important part of the story also, like the breakup scene, like the way they do that tells the story of a part of the breakup scene, you know. So yeah, but I don't know the answer to that question, if it's more normal in Norway too. I don't know.
You know, it's interesting. The film reminded me a little bit about an unmarried woman. Now that I think about it, but in any event, I wanted to ask you about, because your roots are in theater.
Yes.
And I was wondering, do you find now that you've starred in your first film? I know you've made films before. Was it difficult transitioning to certainly a film role like this, or did you find it natural?
A very, very natural. Yeah, I did. But yeah, how to that's a big conversation. I've made so many directors angry because I don't do theater the conventional way. So I don't know. I've been a lot of arguments in theater. I don't know. I think it's just a way of acting that I've seen people do. I've been very influenced by a lot of people. I try to see bits and pieces and try to see if I can do it, if I can do this. Like it's a horrible answer, but I don't know.
No, my issue with theater is I'm always trying to break convention, and I run into brick walls. It's one of the reasons why I want to throw my hands up in the air. So that's nice to hear, actually.
Okay, yeah. Good.
Tell me, what was the Cannes experience like?
It was like unbelievable. It was I don't even know how to start. It's just still like euphoric. It was amazing. Like imagine having having this part like changed my life. It's amazing. And then it coming to the main competition in Cannes, and then like rumors starting to grow, and we got that response, and people were running after us in the street and throwing themselves around our necks because the film meant so much to them. And then this prize, I can't even, it's impossible to like, if we have a couple of hours I can say what it feels like. It's yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wow. Well, I'm just so thrilled for you. What is up next for you, Renate?
Well, it's some stuff I can't talk about, but it's a while I'm doing this for a while, like traveling around with a movie, and then we'll see.
Okay.
There are some stuff up in the air, but yes.
I had a quick perception question, because I noticed that the film likes to play with perception through deception. Like the cheating chapter, we're led to believe that somebody's going to cheat, and then it doesn't necessarily play out the way it does. And I felt like Julie also sometimes tries to deceive herself into not doing what she really wants to do in order to remain complacent and not have to make a decision. Does that make sense? Did that ever?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I haven't actually articulated that before. I haven't heard it either. That's a very good point. I think she's like she's very sad and unhappy and lonely, so she sneaks into the wedding kind of trying to just make herself feel something else. And it's a bit how do you say, like I don't know the word, but it's like she ruins her life a little bit for
Sabotage.
herself. Self-sabotage,
Yes.
yes. But tries to have fun, but the fun comes from a destructive place. So it's the contrast all the time. It's very interesting. I love
Yeah.
that about her. Yeah.
That's
But
another
the way you
way.
said it, I'm gonna take that further. It's, yeah, it's a good way of seeing it.
Thank you. I have one last question for you. If you could work with any director and any actor, who would it be?
I think, oh my God, I want to work with Joachim again, just to have that clear. And like I love like Greta Gerwig and her universe, and Guadagno. And also I was watching the performance of Chalamet, Timothée Chalamet, for his role in Call Me by Your Name, because it's also like really playful and deep, and it's so light but also goes really, really deep. I wanted Julie to have kind of the same vibe as like I see her in that character very. So yeah, I loved him as an actor. And yeah, Tilda Swinton also, I love her. It's like how I could it's a long list of names. I should have something ready. I should have like, yes, this for the next time someone asks me.
No, it's nice
Yeah.
to just kind of get them
Thank
off
you.
the top of your head.
Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate you again, and I want to thank you for giving us a character that in contemporary times is wholly relatable, and you know, we throw around the word over and over again right now, called authentic, and I think we misuse it, but Julie is really authentic. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. I think it's very important, and I think people really need like the ugly, the weird, the sad, the like in an honest way. So yeah, we feel the same. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Good, thank you. Enjoy the day.
You too. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.